really interested in the social behavior of fish. And one of the main things that we're interested in looking at is how embryos, before they are born, learn things about their environment from different pieces of information and how they use that information after hatching to better survive and reproduce. I'm Dr. Jess Ward. I'm an associate professor of animal behavior at Ball State University. Fathead minnows are a small generalist species in North America. Generalist means that they live in a variety of different habitats. So you can find them in streams and ponds. You don't find them in fast-moving water very often, but they're found in a variety of different habitats. And they're really great for using in the lab because they are easily kept, they'll breed all year round, and they can be obtained at any time during the year.
My name is Brooke, and I am a PhD candidate here at Ball State in the Environmental Sciences program, specifically in the biology department. So both the minnows and the sunfish are native throughout North America. They have a pretty wide range. The minnows are both predator and prey, so they consume other animals like small insects or even baby fish. And they also are prey animals themselves for the bigger fish in their ecosystem, including things like the sunfish.
Sunfish are a common predator of minnows in North American water bodies. So pretty much any place that you'll find minnows, you'll often find sunfish as well. And sunfish like to prey upon minnows, especially baby minnows. And so this is a natural predator of the minnows that we can use.
We're looking at different ways that these minnows might be able to learn to recognize their predators at these very early life stages, these embryonic stages, while they're still inside the egg. So embryonic means pre-hatch in this case.
Embryonic fish don't have an instinctive knowledge of what a predator is. They have to learn that information. But if they can learn to recognize, for example, what a predator smells like before they hatch, then they're going to be better able to recognize that predator after they hatch and potentially escape from it. During the vulnerable embryonic stage of life, an embryo really doesn't have a lot of options available to it to avoid a predator that's in the area. It can't run away, it can't avoid that predator in any way. The only thing it can really do is try to minimize detection by the predator, perhaps by getting very still. In order to be able to know when they should do this, they have to be able to learn to recognize when there's a potential threat in the area. That's why it's important for embryos to be able to learn to recognize predators. Any species, a predator species or a prey species, will give off a chemical scent that can be detected by the embryos in the egg. They don't necessarily recognize that it is a predator at first, but they can perceive and detect it.
The predator cue that we use is a scent that they have to learn to recognize, and then they learn, ideally in this research, we're showing that they learn to associate that smell with the alarm cue, and then later on they'll be able to recognize just the predator cue, even if the alarm cue is not present, and they'll still respond as if there is danger.
Fish that have been injured give off a chemical cue too. This is called an alarm pheromone or an alarm cue. And fish have an instinctive response, fear response to this alarm cue. It causes them to freeze or to try to run away or to otherwise escape what they perceive to be a dangerous situation. One of the things that we noticed is that if you pair an alarm cue with a predator cue, they will learn the association between the alarm cue and the predator cue. And they will recognize that predator cue as being a potential danger. Then, if you give them the predator cue alone, later on, they will respond to that predator cue with the recognition that this is a dangerous situation. The way that we observe that happening in minnows is that within the egg, their behavior changes. Normally, these embryos are flipping around, they're twitching within the chorion, there's a lot of spontaneous activity. But those that have been taught to recognize the scent of a predator will show a change in their behavior when they receive this predator cue. And usually they will start to get very still and get very quiet within the egg and try to avoid detection.